The following program contains views that are not those of WVTC, iNetworks Communications, their subsidiaries, affiliates, or financial supporters.
But we know who we trust, just when I say that we go. But we know who we trust, just when I say that we go. We gon' be alright.
WVTC Radio. Sit back and relax. Tune in. With Elder Miller, where we bring light to darkness. Come on in and enjoy this show. We got a nice one for you today.
All right.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Bless the Lord. We are here. The Good News with Elder Miller and co-host Dorian H. Nash with our special with our special guest. Right. Boom. Pastor Stephen Wright is here with us today, you all.
Yes.
We're looking forward to blessing you all today with African American history.
Come on now.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna have a great time. We got a great show for you all. For you all that are out there in social media land or how you viewing us today, please tag, let somebody know what's going on today. We got a very powerful show. It's always great. The Bible talks about we perish for a lack of knowledge. So today we're going to bring you all a lot of knowledge as it retains and refers to us. So man, y'all in for a great show. Please let somebody know that, tag or do whatever it is you need to do. Let somebody know that the Good News with Elder Miller is on. Yep. We are here to hope you. We are not here to help you.
Come on now.
Because we know that help is temporary and hope is eternal.
Come on.
So we're ready to get it started. Y'all already know how we do it with a scripture. I'm gonna put a different twist on it. Hey, Tanisha, how you doing? AKA my assistant. I seen your show earlier today that I think had a topic for the month of for American history is marriage. Her and her husband has been talking about that, and that's a very good subject to talk about these days, especially with divorce rates so high right now. You know what I'm saying? With everything that's going on in this world, we have to be focused, and we have to really do. I think I talked about it a little bit. I alluded to we have to take the I out of the picture, and we got to get back to the but God, because if we take the I out of the picture, that takes how we feel about one another. It takes out our emotions, you understand, when we get caught up in things of that nature. But you can put in but God, whatever that situation is, just put but God in there, and that'll let you know that guess what, you ain't got nothing to do with the situation. That means but God. But for God, I'm gonna stay in this. But for God, I'm gonna have peace. But for God, I'm gonna have joy. So at the end of the day, all of it is a choice. We have to make a choice up in our mind that no matter what goes on in our life, God has us. He must sustain us. And he will keep us, you all. So with that being said, you all, and it's very key to the scripture that I'm going to choose for today. It's coming from Proverbs, the book of knowledge, right?
Come on, Proverbs.
So absolutely. So you got 16:3 say, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. So basically that's short version of that. Layman's term, give it to God and let him direct your path. Right. So whatever that is that you're going through in your life, if you need God to direct your path, let go and let God so that he can do what he needs to do to enhance your life and trust and believe in you. Good evening, Cheryl. How you doing? So, but yeah, that's an awesome thing, you all, when we can just give it to God and trust and believe. Because our faith, I don't know about nobody else here on the panel and on the show right now about how they're being tested by their faith. Oh my God, the faith has been tested on an all-time high. We got some great stuff coming up for you all too. To say it ain't so We got so much stuff to talk about on Say It Ain't
Yeah,
So. We gotta
pace
just,
ourselves.
we gotta, right? So say we gotta pace ourselves. So we gotta roll into it, Pastor, right? Yeah, because right.
Yes.
Boy, it's a lot going on in this world, you all. And if you all don't think that we aren't living in our last days, I'm telling you all, just take a gander over there, over in Revelations, and it's showing and telling us everything that's taking place today, you all. There's so much going on. So you better, this is not the time to be laid on the backside, as they say.
Yeah.
But
It's
my
no time
grandparents
to dilly
or
or
that.
that.
No dilly in the deli.
And no dilly in the deli.
No being Willie, no being Nilly.
There you go. Hey, man, it's time to get to work. It's time to put those hands to the plow, you all, so that we can get whatever God has for us in the remainder of this time before he comes back. Because he can crack the skies open in the next 30 seconds. You all, my thing to you is, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Be ready. Don't get ready. Be ready. Because this is not, I'm telling you all, as shows, oh man, for sure. As I'm speaking to you right now, God can wrap this thing up, you all. What was it? 34,000 people were killed in Turkey.
Yeah.
You are 34,000. Think about that.
Prayers and condolences to all the families that are suffering
for sure
behind that. And I know that doesn't seem like enough, but
yeah,
we are praying and just want for your your peace and your comfort during this time, because but God, yeah,
we
could be in
that could be us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because we gonna say that for Say It Ain't So, because I was gonna tap in on some stuff, but we gonna say it for Say It Ain't So.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we get ready to move forward, y'all know how I do it. I'm gonna go ahead and alley-oop it on over there to my co-host and let her pew pew do her thing, and she's in.
All right, so hey everybody, I just want to thank everybody that's joining us. I love these hand claps of praise that we're getting. Love it, yes, and yes. As you see this handsome gentleman between us, this is
right.
He was on the show last week, and now we were able to bring him back and just have some exclusive time and conversation with him. Please welcome the inimitable Pastor Stephen Wright.
Yay!
All right.
Everybody.
All right. So tonight we're excited because last week we had a discussion with some of the pastors that were speaking about Mandate, the men's event that they're preparing for, and we had some good conversations regarding about some of the themes that they were talking about, and then Pastor Wright kind of chimed in and just kind of brought the word and set the atmosphere in terms of some of the things that we were talking about. So we're going to kind of jump back into that, and in light of Pastor G alluded to just a moment ago, there is so much that's going on in the world today. It can be sometimes, I'm sure some people don't know whether they're coming or going.
Oh, geez.
By virtue of everything that's going on. So what words of wisdom would you want to give our audience and those who are listening in terms of just how they find their center? Now, the easy answer is like, but God, but give some details if you're able to.
Elder Miller or me?
You. I you first.
I think this is a critical time where we really have to understand that if it had not been before the Lord on our side in the past, that in the present, we have to understand that it's still God on our side. I think this is where we really need to double down on our faith, because it's one thing to really kind of talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to be about it, because we have to realize that, yes, it seems like this world is going to hell in a handbasket. And what are we going to hold on to? We're going to hold on to his unchanging hands. We're going to hold on to God, whatever we need to do as a people, as a community. And I think just to kind of sum it up, because I really love when, and I think I mentioned this last week, when the expert in the law came to Jesus and asked him, what's the greatest commandment? Okay. And then Jesus responded and he said, love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Basically, what it boils down to is love God, love people. That's what we need to be doing in good times, in bad times, in uncertain times. Whatever the time we find ourselves in, we need to make sure that first and foremost, we love God, and then we love God's people. We have to treat all the people's needs as holy. Whatever that person needs. Hey, they hungry, let's feed them. Let's feed them. If they thirsty, let's give them something to drink. If they sick, And in prison, let's go visit them.
Yeah.
You know, if they naked, let us clothe them. This is what we have to do. This is the kingdom mandate. And if we do those things, regardless of what time we find ourselves in, we're fulfilling the will of God. And I believe that God is pleased.
Come on now, Pastor. That was spoken. That's a word right there. That's a word. But listen, y'all hear that? I hear the people. I hear the people, and some of them are out there saying, "Okay, that's great, Pastor Wright. I love what you're saying there, but I'm making life decisions about whether I should buy these dozen of eggs or pay my light bill.
Yeah,
right. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to get through the day, and sometimes it feels like, though we know, I think that there's a lot of people of faith that are on the line right now, and though we know, I know I gotta put my trust and faith in God. But man, this situation right here, I'm later for that. But because like right here, you know, and how do we help people to understand that it's all connected?
I think, you know, one, we have to realize that from a spiritual standpoint, absolutely, we do have to put our faith and trust in God. But then from a natural standpoint, you know, what do? This is the important part of being community, or what Dr. King called the beloved community. Yeah. This is where you value and you recognize the worth of every single person. So if we're really being the church, the ecclesia, the called out ones, then what we're going to do is, if there's somebody that we come across that has those real, now we ain't going to say just felt needs, but those are real true needs, then if we have, because the Lord has blessed us, then we have a responsibility and an obligation to go and provide for them. And again, I think I had mentioned this, you know, last week as well, because, you know, a lot of times we hear this thing about tithing. Tithing is cool. Tithing is for the people. Those resources that we have should be going directly to the people.
Oh, now you didn't touch the nerve now right now.
I know. I hope ain't no passes on there. So they trying to talk about, I got a mortgage to pay. Yeah, but the people, like you said, people got needs.
The people have needs, and I know that. I want to make sure I hear. There's a comment there. Can you see what that said?
Oh, it was a lot.
Need a travel agent, look no further. That's what it said.
Oh, that's what it said. Because
I got my glasses on.
I'm
the only one that got my specs on.
Okay, read that out loud. What did it say?
In need of a traveling agent, then look no further than
teletravel,
make dreams reality. Contact the 708-355-1372.
Okay, they plugging their business. All right, we ain't mad at that. We ain't mad at that. All right. All right, I ain't mad at you.
They call that a shameless plug.
There you go. That's what that is. But we're not mad at that at all. So please, if you see that on the screen and you see, please contact her and get some great travel. Okay. Yep. But listen, as we continue to talk about this thing, and I appreciate what you just said regarding, you know, how like we know that it's all connected. We know that, you know, there's that felt need, right? And I want both of y'all to chime in on this. So, man, you know, we got so many situations, people. Everything is gone up, everything is higher, everything, you know, it just seems like, and then what you just said, I lost my train.
Tithing, you said,
about tithing, right? Because it was not too long ago, I saw it on TikTok, this gentleman had lost his mom, and they needed some assistance with paying for the services. They went to the church that she had been a part of for 30 years, and the church said, we ain't got nothing for you. And the man, he said, listen, I don't go to this church, but my mom went to this church for 30 years, and she paid her tithe every week. I'm here to collect. I need help. I'm letting you know that I need help. And, you know, what y'all going to do? And at first they gave him some pushback, but I think they eventually ended up helping. And I'm purposely not saying any names because I don't want people like, you shouldn't be talking about church folk. But we know that these things happen. So how do we help change that dynamic? Because tithes and offerings are given, but a lot of times they're not given back to the people, right, in times of need. So how do we address that? Because that's why people have issues sometimes with church.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that it just depends on what you're doing. If your church has open book policy where you can see where the funds go, you know, because you have some churches back in the day, they would do the chicken dinner sale. You know, everybody's selling chicken dinners and stuff like that. And they'll be like, well, yeah, we're selling the chicken dinners to get a new door. for the front church.
Yeah.
And every week you come that same church, that same door is still broke down, but you don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then, you know, you got people that'll say, well,
fund.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
There you go. And then the pastors put it up in the
30-year
cat.
building.
Yeah, right. You know, and that type of deal. But and my thing is like I say, if you got an open book policy and you know where the monies is going to, then you know what I'm saying, then I think that you start there. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody needs help, for the most part, if you got a board or whatever like that, that's a decision that the board makes. And they say, well, okay, well, you know, we'll take care of AYZ or whatever the case may be. That's how I think it should be handled. But from some of the other standpoints, because we know everybody's, you know, dealing with trickery and everything like that. That's why the Holy Spirit comes in play for the pastor or the shepherd of the house to be able to, you know, make sure that those funds are appropriate to the person that may need it at that time.
I know this ain't y'all is in terms of how y'all pastor and all of that, but then we have some pastors that believe, hey, you all's tithing should pay for my jet or pay for my car or pay for my boat.
Well,
what y'all feel
about
that?
Well, the bottom line
should a pastor have a jet?
I mean, to be totally honest with you, if that's what they got going on, that's what they got going on. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying in terms of how do we feel, you know, just when we look at it from the word of God, do we think that is good use of the money?
Well, the bottom line is this too. See, we on the outside looking in too. A lot of people look at these people with these jets and stuff like that, but we don't understand that they also have multiple streams of income too. We got to look at that. So somebody will look at T.D. Jakes, or they'll look at Creflo Dollar and some of these other people. They done brought multiple books. They done did movies. They done did all other type of things. You see what I'm saying? So we can't say, like I tell people all the time, the Bible talks about cast ye not the first stone, lest ye be thrown. So at the end of the day, that's on them. That's between them and God. I'm not finna judge. I'm not finna sit there and put my mouth. The Bible also say, touch not my anointed. So I'm not finna get into that.
And I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. You feel me? Because I mean, like I say, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a prime example.
Okay, come on now. And we want our audience to chime in as well.
I'm gonna give you a prime example. So I've known my former pastor pretty much over 30 years, whatever the case may be. He was well off. Okay, he's a VP for IBM, right? Okay. So when we had some people come to the church, you know, people come, they talk, whatever, and they'll be like, hey, man, Pastor, he got the 745 sitting out there, this, that, and the other. They talking because of what they think they know, and they don't know. Right. He already had all this before he even had a church. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
But then again,
so when you know
that former pastor has that open door policy.
Exactly.
He lets you see the books. He lets you see
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. So guess what? On the outside looking in, somebody else come down the street and see that and say, well, hey, he got this. You don't even know this man. You know what I'm saying? He been at IBM 25 years, 30 years. He got, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, once again, I can't.
I appreciate Pastor Ray just sitting back like I'm gonna.
But no, I'm saying. I'm just saying. Right. I'm just saying though. You know what I'm saying? We asking a question. That's just how I feel. You follow what I'm saying? Gotcha. So I'm not gonna put my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't know them people's finances. You know what I'm saying? But I know for me, you know what I'm saying? When I know that I have a pastor and he true, and you know what I'm saying, he's an open book person. And he, you know what I'm saying, he's not ashamed of what's going on. So it is what it is.
A congregation expect accountability, though, in terms of those finances?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. For sure. I'm not saying that because at the end of the day, there are needs. Yeah. Right? That need to be done. Now, like I say, at the end of the day, I don't know, you know, okay, so, I mean, we looking at pastors. Okay, let's look at basketball players. Let's look at football players. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If we going, you see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what you saying, that they can't live a good life?
Oh, absolutely. We're not saying that at all.
No. That's
what's the saying?
What is it?
They can have whatever they want, but when the congregation is hurting, it makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's Cheryl.
That's Cheryl.
Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl.
You know who that is.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, right.
You know who you are.
right.
So,
we know you are.
Steve, we want to give you a chance.
So do I feel pastors need jets? No. Matter of fact, I posed that question.
Somebody says, but I use those just to travel and
minister. Absolutely. And I'm going to get there.
Okay.
I'm going to hit that.
All right.
Because you have pastors right now, and I teed this up to a pastor, and he said, well, you know, they have to, you know, get around so they can go ahead and preach the gospel.
Sure.
I said, we're supposed to train up others to preach the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus see, Jesus as a rabbi, rabbi means teacher.
Sure.
They called him master. Master means teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said he was a teacher. Teacher means teacher.
Right.
So what he was doing is he was making disciples. Why? He said, greater works than you do because I go to my Father. What he was doing is he was creating disciples so the disciples can go out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't need no plane. Train up some people. And then said, because the Bible lets us know that the people went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people went out. So you mean to tell me that $35-40 million needs to be allocated towards travel so this man could go, and then when he goes, he's probably going to be charging, $30,000-$40,000 just to speak. So no, I don't think they need necessarily that. And I believe that Creflo Dollar had just mentioned that, he did misuse those funds in the sense when he focused on, getting that plane. That's money that could be utilized for who? As we were talking about earlier, for the people, for the community, for those that are really hurting, for those that are struggling, trying to feed themselves, those that cannot afford heat, those that cannot afford shelter, those that are living on the streets, or, hey, the alien, the foreigner, the stranger, the marginalized, the oppressed, the downtrodden, those that are on the outskirts of society. That's who the money should be going to. And then that pastor said, well, I believe that if they had jets in Jesus' day, Jesus would have had a jet. I said, well, you probably don't understand what Jesus's mindset was. Yeah. Jesus left where? He left heaven to come where? To come down to earth. If he was so focused on things and power and prestige, he never would have left heaven. But he came down here to dwell among sinful man so that what? So he could show us the way we need to be living, and the way that he lived was a life of self-sacrifice. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a life of puffing up. It wasn't a life of, this pompousness. He basically denied himself, and he taught us that we should deny ourselves as well.
Come on now, that's the word again. But let me ask you this, and this is where I'm just being honest. This is where it gets hazy for me sometimes. So there are smaller churches, right? You don't have to have the really huge church, but you got these smaller churches. Maybe there's a congregation of, say, 500 people or so, right? And I'm using this as an example. And so there's a certain amount of money from that tithing that goes to support the pastor and the work that he does. Keep the doors open. Make sure that the church gas bill and light bill are paid. So that has to happen. That has to be, put into the budget of what those tithes and offerings are doing. What is the expectation of the congregation, and should be the expectation in terms of the support that you give that pastor? Because is there an expectation that pastor should have his own means of income, or should a pastor expect that his financial needs will be met by his church?
I don't. Once again, I know of pastors that don't take. They don't take offers from the church. You know what I'm saying? So that, it just depends on what they got going on. When you looking at thousands of members and stuff like that, if that's what the pastor is doing, to take care of his household or whatever like that, if it's 24/7, he's doing that, he don't have a job, then, like I say, once again, I'm not here to, write the textbook on how a pastor should do and what ain't right and all this other stuff. My thing is that if there's a need in the church and there's money's available, then that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help out. That's what, that's my take on that.
Well, and as an audience, we have beat that horse. We're gonna transition a little bit.
Beat that horse some more. Because just like you said, you came up with an example where here it is, somebody has transitioned, and the institution that she was affiliated with for decades. Now, in her time of need, for whatever reason, they decided to push back, and maybe you said that they did kind of step forward, but that should have been something that was done.
It should have been automatic. Yeah.
But now here's the thing: that is something that exists in the church today. That is something that has existed in the church in the past.
Yeah.
There's an individual by the name of A.G. Gaston. A.G. Gaston was a multi-millionaire down in Alabama. He basically he contributed just tons of money to the civil rights movement.
Okay.
Matter of fact, when they were, like when the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and Dr. King, when they were meeting, because they couldn't meet just anywhere, they would meet at A.G. Gaston's hotel because, he provided for them space. He had a restaurant, they could eat there. But what he did was he gained his wealth by starting a mutual aid society, because at that time blacks couldn't get life insurance.
Right.
It was risky. It's risky to be black right now, but it was real risky then.
Right.
So insurance companies weren't going to insure black folks. So what you did was you gathered money together, and he was about to go broke, because as soon as he started this mutual aid society, one of the ladies who was given like $1, like a week or something like that, she died. So that mutual aid was responsible for burying this lady.
Right.
So he eventually was able to pull the money together to do that. But the pastor of the church said, hey, Brother Gaston here has a wonderful idea that you all need to contribute to this, because if something happens to you, don't come to the church. Y'all been coming to the church too long. That was something that was done. Now, if the church, if people are coming to the church because they just been totally irresponsible, they don't have life insurance, they don't have the wherewithal, the means, and some people, hey, they just don't have it. Other people, they have the ability, but they buying the cars, they buying the houses, they buying all this, and then something happens to them, and then they don't have enough money to be buried with. That's, I think it's 1 Timothy 5:8. He that does not look after his own household is worse than an infidel and has denied the faith.
Ooh, an infidel. Okay. Well, again, listen. We're gonna continue this conversation. It's almost 7:30. We're gonna depart a little bit early so that we can have a little bit more time to talk about our favorite segment, or one of our favorite segments. Say it ain't so. And what we're wanting to do is to apply these biblical passages, this higher, frame of reference, and then apply it to the real world that we're gonna apply to when we come back after this break. So stay tuned, stay with us. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We're gonna jump right in.
Booker T watched the insurance company.
Yeah,
that's Cheryl.
Yep. We're gonna jump right back into this conversation. Give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back for Say It Ain't So. Stay with us, y'all.
People.
There's another person inside of you. A healthy person. A fit person screaming to get out. Time Fitness will help you find that fit person. Time Fitness clients eat to live, not live to eat. 95% of you dream of a flat stomach but have no clue on how to make that happen. Time Fitness is the master of making that stomach disappear. Want to look younger? Time Fitness. Isn't it time you take care of you? Contact us now for a free 2-pound protein powder meal replacement, 2 free guest passes, 1-time free Time Fitness t-shirt. Each client gets personal training guide and workout journal. Time Fitness will help you live a healthy lifestyle and improve your quality of life. www.tymefitness.com 773-458-5084. Living out of town? No problem. Time Fitness can still work with you each month. Ask us how. Time Fitness. www.timefitness.com.
The fall and winter fashion seasons are upon us. Time Underground Furs have every coat you need to be unique and stand out in the crowd. From furs, minks, leather, suede, vests with the fur, blue jean jackets with fur, cashmere, and wool coats, with over 350 coats to choose from. Rarely will you see 2 of the same coat. Quality coats and excellent customer service is first and foremost. Our entire inventory is wholesale priced. You never pay full price. Every coat is 25% or more less than any other store that sells fur coats. Why pay retail when you can buy the same coat for wholesale and save hundreds of dollars? Time Underground Furs also sells to other stores at wholesale prices. We also have very nice pre-owned, slightly worn furs. We lease our coats for all types of events and have 30-day layaway only. The mission is to take the coats out of our store and put them in your closet or store. Wearing a mink or unique coat transforms you to the best version of yourself, and everyone wants a fur coat. Time Underground Furs is here to make that happen. We do appointments only. Time Underground Furs, located in River Oaks Mall in Calumet City, 708-252-1434. That's 708-252-1434. Or check out our website at www.tymeundergroundfurs.com. It's time to purchase a fur from Time Underground Furs.
All right, we are back, y'all. We are back. Thank you all for hanging with us. Thank you for just enjoying this conversation. At least we hope that you're enjoying this conversation as we continue with Pastor Wright. We've been talking a lot about, kind of these spiritual things, about tithing, about, responsibility and accountability as it relates to tithing, and just, being faith focused in the midst of all of this craziness that we're dealing with in our day-to-day lives. So we're going to transition a little bit. This has become kind of an audience favorite as we talk about our segment called
Say It Ain't So.
So, with that being said, most of you, we've been hearing as of late over the last several days how these different, we'll call them unidentified flying objects that have been shot out of the air by the U.S. government, and they're vehemently saying, "You like that $20 word?"
Vehemently. Boy, I'll tell you that.
They are.
She do for at least 2 or 3 of them show. Y'all already know. That's why I keep up with
that. They're saying emphatically that these are not, alien, types of ships or anything like that, but they're also not saying what it is. Right? So there's something to be said about that. But how do we have, you had none, and now we've had 4 in the last week. Right. Yeah. So over Alaska, South Carolina, Michigan, and Canada, and
Louisville too.
And Louisville. Yeah. So that's 5. So what's going on? You know what,
man? I'm telling you, all I can say is we got to break open the Bible, man. We got to break open that 66 because the Revelation talks about all of the things that we're encountering today, and I think it's bringing a lot of things that we were talking about. When you look at Revelations, it's coming to pass. I think a lot of this stuff is being manifested with a lot of things that's going on in our lives, how it's imperative of the things that's happening in our lives that it's, man, we hearing the things that, you didn't never probably think that you would ever see or hear about, when you talking about say it ain't so. Like right now in California, I think they're what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? They are testing drones that are going to be delivering your food. They're testing right now the flying car. These are the types of things I'm talking about. Say it ain't so that I'm saying. These are the jet. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because these are things that we might have thought that we weren't going to see in our time, but it's looking like these things are coming to pass. So I'm saying with the 5 unidentified objects, unidentified flying objects. It's kind of wow, like mind blowing. It's like, wow, these things are really happening. But here's the kicker to me, you all, they're not talking about it. So what do you think, Pastor? Right? Why do you think they're not talking about it? Can you what's your take on that?
Yeah, they really trying to brush this under the rug real quick. My
thought is, of course, we know that Russia's at war with Ukraine, right?
Right.
And close ally Russia is China.
Okay.
And now for when you really look at historically, America, there has not been any type of events that have taken place on American soil other than 9/11, right?
Okay.
But wars don't get fought on American soil. We go wherever, right? But then what we have is these other entities, these other governments that are trying to find out what is the real capability of the United States. The United States spends almost 3 times as much on military spending than China or Russia. So, we have a lot of capability. The biggest part of the United States budget is military spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have abilities that nobody knows about.
Right.
So I think that those balloons, they're probably spy balloons that they're coming over. They're trying to find out about the capabilities that the United States actually has. And you know, you're talking about being bold.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, flying at 40,000 feet. You know, trying to you know fly at a height where they can not get detected.
Right.
But that's what my thought is that we have these foreign entities that are trying to find whatever they can about the capabilities and also the weaknesses of the United States.
You know what? Stay right there, Pastor, right? Because you just brought up a very interesting point, and I want to piggyback on that. We also know that TikTok is owned by China.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the information that we got a lot of people that are involved with TikTok, and they don't understand all the information is going back to China.
Yeah.
And I also believe that with that being said and with that being done, I'm going to put a plug in it, and I'm going to say a lot of it is because China wants to dumb down America. And the reason I say that is because for TikTok, if you get so many hits or so many likes or whatever like that, you get a check for it, right?
Okay.
So with that being said, think about this. I never would have thought I would be living in a day and time when you got 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds that don't go to school, right? So now we're living in a day and time where there's no more truant officers. Nobody's checking on these kids. Nobody's really raising our kids. A lot of the crimes are being done during the hours when they should be in school, right? So now you got more and more people that are making money off of TikTok. So what is the need for our children to go to school, to even go to grammar school, to even go to college? I mean, because if they can make thousands and thousands of dollars being TikTokers and all this other type of stuff and getting checks, you can't convince them to go to school. Why would they?
Then also keep in mind that you made a great point. So
I'm just gonna sit here because I'm just like, what?
So China, you know, that's where TikTok originates. The content is different.
Yeah.
The content that we allow on TikTok here, that TikTok utilizes, you know, it's all this ratchet stuff, you know, and it's really kind of getting in the minds of the children.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They relegate and they monitor what they put on TikTok in China.
Absolutely.
It's educational stuff.
Yeah.
It's about morality. It's about, you know, the country itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, so two totally different things. And they're relegating and limiting what is on in China. But over here in the United States, it's like, hey, let's go ahead and get in their mind. You know, let's go ahead and throw this stuff out there, all this nonsense to them, and let them absorb it. And like you said, it basically weakens us.
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about this. Why do you think that everywhere you go now, there's a help wanted sign up? Think about it. Everywhere you look, but they're saying that there's a big thing going on with the economy. So why is just about everywhere? McDonald's, they paying $19 an hour now. McDonald's. Guess why? Because they can't get nobody to come to work. They got to get these kids to come to work. Nobody's going to. Okay, so let me now this is something that I know is true. The trucking industry, right?
Okay.
So thank God. I mean, thanks to the TikToks, we got a lot of people that got into the trucking game, right? So we got Arabs, we got Indians, we got Chinese. All these different types of race that wouldn't even think about coming into the trucking game are now in the trucking game. Okay. Why? It's because a trucker can make anywhere between 150 to 200,000 a year, right? Okay. So now, why would I go to school, okay, for 6 years to become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever the case may be? Then I graduate and I got all this debt. When I can go to school and my wife can go to school, and in 6 weeks we can make almost 500,000. Okay, so now the trucking industry is flooded with fly-by-night people that then started trucking companies. They got LLCs.
Won't the pendulum swing back the other way, like it's swinging? It's saturated, but then it's going to swing back.
Well, here's the deal, though. You got more people that's into it right now. You know what I'm saying? You got at first we was like 2 million drivers short or whatever the case may be. I can guarantee you it ain't that now, because everybody has gotten into the game, and now it's making it bad on us because the fuel is steady going up, right? And then the loads are going down. Okay. Because you got people that just jumped into the industry. Okay, prime example, we just lost a good customer that we've had for 8 years, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we were getting $560 per load to drive 12 miles, right? So guess what? Another company came in and undercut us, and they're getting $200 a load.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So what does that tell you, right? So now we're out, they're in, right? Okay. So now you got some more mom and pop companies that's coming in, and it's hurting the industry.
But what I'm saying though, like that can only be, and I don't know what I don't know, right? But that can only be sustained for so long. Well, right. Well, and so won't that at some point between the gas prices, between the maintenance of the trucks, between them just not knowing really the industry, won't that swing back the other way? Well,
here's the thing: it's taking a very long time to swing back the other way because what's happening is all of the like owner operators like myself, we're getting hurt right now.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on. So when it swing back the other way, guess what? At some point, it's gonna have to swing back the other way. Yeah. Because it's like we're in a fight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just like when the CSX and BNSF, the rail people, right? Yeah. They said, oh, well, it'll be $1 trillion if they decide to close down for a day. They were never going to shut down, but why we as truckers didn't stand together, you see what I'm saying? And they got what they wanted, why we couldn't get what we wanted at that time. We should have came together and bonded together, but they're not going to do that because guess what? Now the unions are involved, right? You got all these union drivers that won't do that, right? Owner operators, we're left out by ourselves once again. So that's what I'm saying. The industry is taking.
Let me ask you this though. So, and again, I want y'all to comment if y'all listening. So, there's a part where you just said a bit ago that they're paying McDonald's workers $19 an hour, right? And I'm sure, because when it comes to business and jobs like that, obviously they're looking at their bottom line. They would rather pay, because I think what's the minimum wage right now? 15?
I don't know. It's $13.75, I think. 13. I think like 13 something because it just went up.
Okay, so it's somewhere between 13 and 15. Yeah. What if they are purposely suppressing these jobs or making it seem like nobody wants these jobs so that they can automate them? Meaning, well, we couldn't get anybody to sling these burgers, so now we got robots doing it.
They're doing it anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my favorite Chinese food place. I go up there right now, and they got a robot bringing me my food out.
What place is this?
Fusion been had robots for the last 3 years.
But are they cooking?
And Fusion.
Are they cooking?
Well, no, they're not cooking. They bringing out the orders and stuff like that. Yeah, and they taking orders. And A Fusion right now, you can go up there. It's just the cutest thing. Oh, you haven't? Oh yeah, go up, man. Them things. Okay. My grandson's taking pictures and everything with them.
So what if that's the ultimate intention? So to give this false narrative that somehow there are people that don't want to work. I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of some of the things that are happening with our kids and our children, but I also think that there's this agenda that is from the corporations to say, yeah, y'all keep doing that, please don't come, because so now we can justify because a robot doesn't need vacation, a robot doesn't need health benefits, a robot doesn't need mental health days or anything like that. And so to me, we're getting closer and closer to Terminator.
Well, they already doing it. Amazon has robots right now doing their whole. Matter of fact, their fruit stores are ran by robots.
But that's my point, though. Like we have so much. That's what I feel like.
Trucks. They're doing right now.
Like these other things. Like let's look at these shiny objects in the sky. Let's look at these other issues. But don't pay attention to where our whole world is becoming automated.
Absolutely.
And that we really don't need the human touch.
Oh, I agree with you. So, I agree.
What does that say for our humanity? If that's really the case, if that is the hidden agenda ultimately, right? Because we it's been happening, in our grocery stores, in our self-checkout.
Oh, all that.
All of that, right? Yeah, and it's becoming more and more. And then I saw in the news the other day that they're able to create a synthetic cell, right?
They're doing it now.
So was before the cloning that they still needed some sort of human interface, but now they don't need the human interface. Now I don't know what does that mean for someone's does that person have a soul? I feel like we're getting to a place of no return, right?
Well, that's you got to think about it. You got more and more people that are richer. You got people like Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of them that got money, money, ooblems of money, and they tapped into a lot of this science and things of that nature. So that's why I say we're gonna see some things in life that we thought we would never ever see, and it's taking place.
Again, I'm just saying, I'm about to do my ultimate conspiracy theory.
Go ahead. I mean,
for those of you that may not know, I am a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, for sure,
a low level conspiracy theorist. So we have these UFOs that are happening, right? We're shooting them down, and then on the other hand, we got Bezos, and we got who else flew to the moon or to the Mars? Branson, right? So I feel like these corporations, these people that have the 2% of the uber rich, right? They're like, listen, we have pretty much just trashed the earth, right? So we're about to get up out of here. We are gonna build a whole new, system on Mars.
Put nothing past it.
Right. And so we got to create these narratives with these UFOs and all of this. And then the people are going to be afraid and scared. And they say, well, hey, here, we can save you. You can get on this ship. And guess who's going to work that land?
Hey.
Who going to work it?
Right. But you know what?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just.
Well, you know what? That's good stuff, because this is really good dialogue. But I really want to.
I know that's kind of out there. So like, okay, Dorian lost it.
Right.
But I'm just. This is what I think about at night.
No, you have to, because I mean, like I tell people all the time, think about this. Right now, some places for change, you can go in there and you try to ask for change. They don't even have change for you no more. How long do you think it's going to be before currency is gone? I'm saying 5 years, but I think it's going to come quicker than that.
I do too.
Right?
Yeah, currency is out.
Yeah, and here's another thing. What they don't talk about, and they just snuck in on us. Have you noticed that places are starting to charge you to use your credit card?
Yeah,
because they done shifted that. Because that's something like when I had my businesses, my credit card machine, I used to eat that fee.
Yeah,
but now they done shifted that to us.
Yeah,
you're $17.99, sir. But let me tell you that it's going to be $2.75 if you swipe. What?
Yeah.
Now it's $19.75.
Yeah.
You know, because of what everything that's going on is taking place. I'm telling y'all, they up to something. But okay, Pastor, right? Come on, man, hit us with some knowledge, man. Hey.
Now I hear what you're saying, and I think it's along the lines of, and I'll say it, entertainment. Why do I say entertainment?
Okay, yeah,
and I say entertainment because the definition of entertainment is to distract, to divert.
I see where you're going with that. I see where you're going.
So all this stuff could be going on, and I'm not saying it's not. But once we recognize whatever, then what does that do to our obligation to serve people?
Come on.
So we can't become distracted and get knocked off our square about this going on or that going on, because in the midst of whatever's going on, we still got to make sure that, hey, those people that need resources, that we provide those resources for them. If they need food, if they need shelter, if they need clothing, if they need healthcare, if they need education, if they need shelter, if they need whatever they need. See, this is what we're called to, regardless of what goes on in the world. Because you said, just like Revelation, and Jesus said, what's going to happen in the end times. He says, yes, this is what's going to happen, but don't be so concerned because the end is not yet. Right. So that means we still got to do the work.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, what about syphilis surgery in Mississippi infants? Please put this on your next Say It Ain't So.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
We will research that. So you're right. We'll research that, Cheryl. Definitely.
Syphilis with infants? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's a lot going on. Right.
Well, again, but to your point, though, this is my question, though. With everything that is going on, I feel like there's a certain measure. I agree with you. Yeah, we got to love and we got to serve. Absolutely. But if we're shut out of the economic system, because I feel like that's what's happening right now.
We've been shut out.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but even more so, if we're shut out and it becomes the system that is no longer led by currency, which we see clearly that that's not what's been happening. Currency has not been, we've not been under that fiat system for quite some time. Ever since they removed the gold standard, it changed. But I see cryptocurrency as a measure of paying for things. The American dollar is bottoming out. They're talking about in a short span of time, because usually it's been the dollar that has been the standard globally. But now they're talking about that
it don't hold no weight.
The dollar will no longer be the standard,
and the $5 is going away.
What do you mean? What you talking about, Willis?
No, for the $5 bill. Think about it. The $5 bill is going away. My wife is collecting them right now. She will collect $5. Yeah, if you go into stores now, if you go to certain stores right now, you can't even get change.
Well, true, but the $5 you can't.
Yeah, $1 and $5. Okay, so what they do is they start with the single. Then the $5 bill goes away. What else you think gonna go away? Everything else is gonna go away.
Well, see, again, I feel as though because of the ways in which that the burden of the taxes and such are put on the people who are least able to pay it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that's why I encourage everyone to become their own corporation. Let me just say that. I'm gonna put that out there. Because the system is not built for you as an individual. The system is built for you to be a corporation. Especially since they passed. Remember that Mitt Romney said corporations are people too. I'm like, the devil is alive. But in terms of how they're treated, they are treated as people, even more so than human beings. Right? Yeah. And so I think we should have a workshop on that about really helping. That's a way that we can serve our community to help them to understand the necessity to incorporate yourself, right? But that's another time, another space.
Right. But
I'm just saying that the things that are happening in the ways in which people are feeling desperate, right? Even through being faithful people, but still feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm praying, Lord, but this don't look good. And just how do we help? There's somebody listening right now that's like, I just lost my job. My rent on my mortgage is due. My car note is due. And I want to do all the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm a man or woman of faith. But man, it's just really hard right now.
And you know what? And I get that because
my dog died.
Right. Well, it's like
my
you say,
woman left me.
Life be life.
Life be life. Right.
So with that being said, like I said, at the end of the day, our faith is going to be trusted because back at the end of the day, we got to take care of those things because at the end of the day, we we got to have a roof over our head. We got to have some food in the ice box. So, I mean, we making life decisions, you know what I'm saying? And at some point, we just got to have the faith that God, he hasn't given us the spirit of fear. And that's what's happening right now. A lot of people are walking around fearful.
Yeah.
And I look at it like this too, because, and this is the trap that we can't fall into is some people that's actually doing okay feel like they're the ones that are not doing well.
Right.
That's because the narrative is out there that is so bad that the sky is falling, everything. But if you do have a roof over your head, you blessed.
Come on.
If you got food in the refrigerator,
come on, Pastor.
You blessed.
Come on now.
Yes.
If you ain't struggling to put gas in the car, you blessed.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta have no $65,000-$70,000 ride, but if you got a $5,000 one that
like that on tomorrow,
you blessed. But see now, and this is what just really kind of gets me is because everything is designed to make you feel like you don't have.
Yeah.
Come on, Pastor.
And then what you do is you scrape, scratch, and claw trying to get this, which really kind of, puts you in behind the 8 ball that you ain't never gonna get from behind.
Come on now.
And you sitting up there like, well, it's so bad. We could have lived, we could live a different way. And then, because here's the thing, if we have, as a matter of fact, what is that? Scripture says if you have food, clothing, and shelter, hey, you're doing well.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
Praise God. But see, but then we can't be satisfied with food, clothing, and shelter. We got to go out and get the name brand this, the name brand that, not be. And I'll be honest with you.
Beyonce tickets.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Right. Don't get hurt by Beehive now.
So check this out. If we're making anywhere from like $80,000 to $100,000 a year, we don't necessarily think like, hey, that ain't the millions that the athletes are, but we are in the top 10% of income earners in this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means 90% of the country is making less money than us.
Yeah.
But do we look at it like that? We don't look at it like that. Listen, we're the top 10%. Praise God. But now we should now this is what we should be doing. We should make sure that we're living moderately in a way where we can actually benefit those that do not have. That's the biblical mandate. That's the kingdom of God that Jesus talked about.
You stay right there, because what I'm going to say to that is that,
and then we want to make sure that we talk about Black history too.
Well, we got 5.
Yeah.
We want these subjects can get away from us.
Yes.
The bottom line is this to you all. I think that we as African Americans,
she said, "Come on."
All right. I think that us as African Americans are one of the most prideful races that there is because we're the only race that can't come together and have 2 or 3 families in a household and live moderate, just like he just mentioned. You understand what I'm saying? And make our ends meet.
Do it though.
We used to
do it,
but that's not being taught now. You understand what I'm saying? So we can get to that next level. We can actually we can let every race that comes over here, they get their money, put it together, get their credit in order, and we've been over here all our lives and we still can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. What do we? I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I say that, man. We got to get. See, we are people of vision, first and foremost. African Americans are people of vision. That's why we get so caught up in what the world is doing as opposed to what God will have us to do. Because
I hear you on that. I'm going to give a little bit of pushback in that, in the sense that institutionally, the system is built for us it's not built for us to win. So
okay, I get that.
So if you're putting it in positions where you're taking the man out of the house, you're jailing him, you're killing him.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And then you create these isms that keeps men and women from being able to come together. That's all intentional.
Oh, for sure.
So with that, because it's intentional, how would you expect them to come together for families and relationships to come together in a household and build something when it's been designed to be destroyed?
But that means that, but see, here's the thing. That's why we have to get to the point where we're teaching. We got to get back to the teaching. I agree with you. Okay, I agree with because at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that's happening, like you said, it was designed to keep us where we were at. But the bottom line is that now we should be wiser, right? Mm-hmm. God has given us choices.
Well, we need men like you and people like
Well, that's why we're here. Go ahead, Pastor Steve, because I want you to.
No, I was just thinking about like what you're saying. This is we do have to be careful about this narrative about what we absorb and what we believe about us, because. Listen, we're not an anomaly as Black folks.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Do Black folks live multi-generational families? Absolutely. That's why during COVID, that's why we were more susceptible, because we had multi-generations. You had the young people, you had their parents and their grandparents living in the same, and then the young people come in, and now all of a sudden the grandparent is sick because of COVID. So we're living like that right now.
Yeah.
If you have to, you have to.
You have no choice.
But now what we have to realize is that we are doing better, sometimes more so than what the narrative is actually saying. So I'm not spouting, what they say about Black folks, because they say, well, Black folks, they killing each other. Every ethnic group that lives in close proximity to people just like them, guess who they kill?
They kill each other.
They kill their own people.
Yeah.
But what happens is they always focusing in on the Black folks, making us seem like we are the demons. Now, historically, and you want like Black history, so we're in Black History Month. What we need to be able to do is go back and get the information that counters what we hear in the news each and every day.
Come on.
Because they try to say, well, Blacks don't want to go get education. We have more Blacks that are being educated right now than any other time in history. There are more Blacks that's graduating from high school. There's more Blacks that are, like literate, more Blacks that are graduating from college. Unless you sit up there and you go and you look at the data, you'll sit up there and believe that, we ain't doing nothing. No, that's not true. We got more Black millionaires. We got more Black people that's doing well. We got more. I'm telling you, across the board, This is why we cannot sit up and just willy-nilly
feed into the propaganda.
Oh my God, because that's what it is. That's what it is. They've done that from time immemorial. That they have tried to make us seem like we are less than. And I refuse to believe it because I'm around people that are doing it. Well, how am I going to say? I give you a classic example. We were sitting up in it was a totally men's class. It was about 60 men. And we were talking about black fathers. And I said, I just asked this question. I said, give me some descriptions of black fathers. They said, angry, absent, abusive, violent, woman beater, child abuser, shiftless, deadbeat. And then one brother said he just kind of raised his hand kind of sheepishly and he said, good father? Right. I said, we sitting in a room full of good fathers. Why are we sitting up here talking about how bad things are?
Come on. Yeah.
We said, it ain't nothing but good fathers in there.
Yeah.
And all we can think of is what? Because that's what we hear.
Yeah. But we have to put our voices above that.
We have to immunize ourselves against this virus of vitriol. About this. Here's the thing. Yes. Trust me. Black folks, they marked. If they can't kill you with the bullet, that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to get in your mind. That's what TikTok is doing. They get in your mind and they make you feel like you less than and like you don't have so that you can go ahead and, again, scrape, scratch, claw.
And then not only that, too.
The hours
and also before we get out of here, I got to say this, too. Okay. Pastor, you hit it on the head, too, because I was going to say that. Another thing, too, about TikTok is it have people looking like they're doing way better than what they're doing. And it causes us, it causes stress amongst us because guess what? We focusing on what they got going on, and we sitting back saying, "Oh my God, why they living like that? Or why they?" It's just there. You go. There you go, AKA assistant. But we got to get ready to get out of here. Pastor Steve, you got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, one last piece, and this is about Black History Month. So Black History Month was established by Dr. Carter G. Woodson in 1926. It started off as Negro History Week. It was really focused around to coincide with the birth dates of Abraham Lincoln and also Frederick Douglass. Yeah. Negro History Week. But they started extending it back in the 60s. And then in 1976, Negro History Week became African American History or Black History Month. That was the bicentennial of this country. And it's been that way ever since. But Dr. Carter G. Woodson basically lifted up the achievements of blacks because even then it was the narrative that was going forward that was trying to convince you that you were less than. He says, no, we have achievements, we have attained, we're thriving, we're rising. So let us go ahead and focus on that. So with Black History Month, the organization that Dr. Carter G. Woodson established, he established it right here in Chicago. It's called the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Their theme this year is Black Resistance. So Black Resistance is when we come and we correct the narrative that exists out there that makes us less than, and we understand that we're more than.
Amen. Amen.
That's it.
Hey, y'all, guess what, y'all? We're going to try to get Pastor Steve back here again next week. Because this whole month is Black History. If we can get the brother to come back and share with us, you all, we will. Because I'm telling you all, it's very important. All these topics that we talked about today, you all, are life-changing. Yes. Like we said before, we may be laughing and joking a lot of times, but life is really life in you all. Yes. And we really want to give you all info because the Bible talks about we perish for a lack of knowledge. If you don't get anything else from the good news of Elder Miller and co-host Dorian H. Nash, we want you all to get the knowledge that what God has given us. Get that knowledge, you all. We need you all to get the word out and let people know what's happening here with the good news with Elder Miller and co-host Dorian H. Nash. We're going to continue to bring that heat, you all. We're going to continue to give you all what God has given us, and we want to continue to be a blessing to you all. Remember, you all, we're not here to help you. We're here to hope you, and that's eternal, you all. As we get ready to get out of here, prayerfully, if God say the same, we'll be back here next Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., and we should be having some good. We also looking to have Shannon Lowe. He's got a new project out. We're going to try to get him in here as well. And like I said, we definitely want to keep the doors open to my main man, Pastor Stephen Wright. We see y'all loving him because, I mean, the comment section is going crazy. Yes. So we thank you all for y'all support. Amen. All right, we at y'all. We out. Deuces.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC, Allsip, Chicago, and iNetworks